create new project, then find the Winforms that is .NET, this one, .NET framework. So name it tutorial, then create. Just to check. Then project creation successful. Start the project. Okay. Initializing. So we have the toolbox. So these are the toolbox built in the Windows form. So the solution name is tutorial, then the project name is tutorial. So before that, we'll be first create our database. So for me, I have an instance named SQL Express. So if your computer running on with instance, so to find your instance, just go to browse for more. Then for me, I have 3 instances. We have the default, we have an SQL Express instance, and 2012 instance. So I'll be using the Express instance. Then okay. Then we'll leave it as Windows authentication. Then connect. Then for the database, we'll create a new database. So new database, we'll name it tutorial. So for this tutorial, we'll be creating a new user. So user ID is integer. Will be set the key to primary key, username, and varchar, then use password, and varchar. So for the integer, we'll be using the auto increment, so we'll make it yes. Then for the seedings and the increment, we'll start with 1, then increment by 1. Save as user. So okay, we'll verify your table or your database, added table. So refresh table, so we have user. So next to your project, by default the runtime application is the form 1, this one. So to start, add the folder called appdata. So the model from the database will be put here. So right click, then add new item, then under the install data, go to data, then write the name of your project, tutorial, so that it will be easy to remember or to determine the model. So next, add EF designer from the database, check, then just check, go to new connection. Then for your server name, check for the SQL Server client. Then for your server name, I will just bypass this localhost by typing that / my instance is SQL Express. Then by default, we'll be using the Windows authentication. Then it will automatically detect the database from this instance. So choose tutorial. So try to check test connection. Test connection succeeded. Then okay. Then a connection string will be added to your app.config. Here app.config, then save connection settings. So we'll save connection settings. First, remember these entities. So next, then it's up to you. So for this tutorial, we're using a 5.0. Then next, we will uncheck this one. So if we check this one, it will be singular names. So if check, then user will be users. Okay. So let us check, uncheck that one. So check the tables, then finish. Then so we have a model from the database. So we have a table or entity user. We have user ID, username, and password. So next, so register. So again, after they created the entity, so we check the appcon.config. It will add new connection string for this one, the tutorial entities. So next, so register, then already create register. So we'll just right click for the properties. Then change name to registration. Also we'll be changing the default start position. So during startup of the form, so we'll check to center screen. Save, then you're good to go. Next, double click the register button. So this we'll add a class. So we'll name it the user repository. Then change the internal to public. Then we'll create a function register. So we need to include the model, so the app data. So using the namespace, then tutorial, then app data. So in your case, if you're not creating a folder, so just remove the app data or the folder name. So just the tutorial. So in my case, I'll just add the app data. So we'll create a function register, so which has a return type. So in this example, so we will create an enum. So the enum will be the constant result for our function. So we have a variable error code, error, and enum error code by default 0 and 1 value error, then success. So use the enum error code, then register. So register will be using will pass two parameters. We have the string username and string password. Next, we will return an error code that is by default success. Then we need to wrap it with the entity user. So user is accessible since we added the tutorial update or the entity or the model. So next, we need to wrap it with a try and catch. So to shortcut, so just try, then double tap, then it will create a snippet, try catch snippet. Then put the error in the catch, then return success in under the try. So we need just to log in the console the error in case there will be an error during registration. So next, using, need to create a keyword using. So create a variable new object from the entities or the context or our entities, for example the tutorial entities. So, tutorial entities, new object which is new var db. So inside the, put the return inside the using. So after the using, after the execution, so the db will be disposed automatically by the keyword using. So next, so create a variable from the object user, then end user or new user dot username, then pass the username that is our parameter. So next, for the password, then the parameter password. So next, so we will not add the user ID since it already an auto increment, so we'll just leave it. So next, we'll call the database to add the new model or the new object user to the database. So db, then user that add functions, then pass the new object which is new user, then call the db that save changes in order to save it into the database. So that's it. So this is the code for the register. So next, so the enum will be an error code, so it will be accessible in it everywhere the code. So first is we need to go to the register. So first we need to check if the if the text box is not empty. So just use the string that is null or empty built-in function. So pass the username or the text box. Then we'll call the set error. The control is the username, txt username. Then the message will be empty field, just return. So it will not call the second function or second checking. So first, and again, we need to clear the data or the error. Then for the second, check for the password is empty or null. Then pass the text box. Then next, if all successful, then clear the error provider. So create a new object for user repository. Then user repository call the function register. So pass the parameter or the text username and password. So since the register is has a return type error code, so create a new object result. Then checking if the result is success. So we need to clear the text box if successful, if success, then else, then we'll message success, then else if the execution is failed, so just prompt an error. Start. For the username, registration username, hard, then the password is 123 register, success. So check in the database, go to the table user, select, so hard, so successful. So what is error provider, guys? So error provider, for example, if I click the register, so it will prompt this one. This is the error provider. So that's the username. Next is the password. So the password is empty, so need to input password. So that is example of the error provider. That's it.